I recently, quite some time ago, joined Micah Samuel's Minecraft event, Valhalla. Which, in case you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you do, because this video won't make a lot of sense if you haven't seen that. To those of you still here, while the main video of course focused on the entire event, this video will focus more on my perspective and my story. This is a story of political intrigue, manipulation, assassination, and the rise and fall of kings. If that sounds like something for you, then get your popcorn and stick around. As I woke up on the first day, I was confused as to where I was, but as my eyes adjusted to the harsh summer sun, I looked around and slowly realized where I was. I was standing in front of the sturdy grey gates of Stirling. It was quiet. Most of my fellow countrymen had yet to arrive, but as I explored my new home, more and more began to show. We all eagerly waited our promised king, but he never came. In his stead was his self-proclaimed right-hand man, Clem. Oh, that's not too bad. I know him. I'd spoken to him a few times before the event started. Clem quickly got in a habit of asking people whether or not they agreed to his rule. Perhaps it was a sense of insecurity over not actually being elected. To him it was simple reassurance. To others, it was an open wound. King Clem's first order of business was to dole out the goods, give people some positions. The king created 4 positions: Minister of Finance, Minister of War, Minister of Scouting, and most importantly, the Hand of the King. As Minister of Finance, Clem assigned the ever-so-pious Essence, a man with a work ethic like no other. Put a pin on this guy, because we're gonna get back to him. Now, Minister of War was a very popular position and very sought upon, so Clem ended up sharing the position between 2 people, the ever-so-loyal Finn and the young Mason. I was assigned Minister of Scouting, and I picked the quiet Unchosen to be my right-hand man. And finally, assigned as the king's right-hand man was the mysterious Stealth. I never got to know him much. I wasn't there for the second day, but when I arrived again on the third day, Clem had some worrying news. Clem had received information that there was an assassination plot against him by none other than his right-hand man, Stealth. Stealth would receive no trial. He was sentenced to execution, an execution which I would carry out. After Stealth's execution, Clem assigned me as his right-hand man. This was on top of my current duties as head of scouting, so needless to say, I had a lot on my plate. I began attending many meetings, and Clem would often turn to me for advice. Arguably the most important meeting I attended was one that would shape the entire future of Scotia. The meeting was between the kings of Mercia, Wessex, and of course Scotia. The meeting was called to discuss some worrying signs of aggression from the Kingdom of Northumbria. Northumbria seemingly had plans of conquering the entirety of the British Isles and had allied with France in order to get the military power they would need. After a long discussion, the 3 parties finally agreed on a plan we all liked. An army would be stationed at the coast of Great Britain while the 2 other armies would destroy Northumbria's capital, York. Afterwards, they would quickly move their way south and assist the southern army against the potential French invasion. Although just as plans were getting settled, critical news arrived. France had withdrawn its support from Northumbria, apologized, and even given a small financial gift to Wessex. However, the 3 kingdoms decided to proceed with the plan anyways, simply leaving France out of it. Northumbria needed to be stopped before they got any more power. After that, the king and I made our way back to Stirling. Now, do you remember that finance minister I promised to come back to? Essence. While me and the king had been busy with all these meetings, Essence had been busy farming and making money. Lots of it. Essence was a man who cared about making money above all else, and that wasn't a mentality that worked too well with King Clem's rule. Essence felt that the king's constant meetings meant that Scotland was not producing money as efficiently as it could be. Clem had brought up rumors that Essence was planning to assassinate him, but I was quick to dismiss them. Even if the king wished to execute Essence, that wasn't going to be easy. Essence had become very popular amongst the people and was at this point carrying the entire Scottish economy on his own back. However, maybe the king should have executed him. It was a meeting like any other. Clem and I were negotiating with the Irish over a Scottish criminal who wished to join Ireland. However, during these negotiations, I got a worrying message from Essence. Bull, we're murdering Clem. Join us. This was of course a worrying message to get. I didn't know what Essence was after. He could very easily be setting me up in order to get my position. I had to do some quick politicking if I wanted to stay alive. Who are we? Every other Scot in this room. The only person not in on it is you. How do I know you're not trying to trick me? I'm asking you not to get involved. Stay neutral if you wish. This was very calming to hear. Now I at the very least knew I would make it out of this alive. But I was one of the most powerful people in this country. I didn't exactly want to lose that position. Alright, well, what happens to me after this? I'm currently in a very comfortable position, you know? I'm not interested in being king. Politics is boring. I just want a more efficient economy. Alright, well, if you can assure my position as king, then I'll support your economy. I'm fully behind making you king. Now, you might call this a bit slimy, and it was. But I simply wanted to ensure my survival. And if I could progress in society, then that's just all the better. Clem wasn't going to make it, no matter what I did. As the negotiations with the Irish came to a close, Essence calmly asked for everyone's attention and proclaimed his plans. Essence's men plunged at Clem and I hid in the corner to avoid the bloodshed. When Clem's lifeless body hit the floor, Essence proclaimed the revolution and brought me to the stand as he crowned me the King of Scotia. With this revolution, Essence had ushered in a new age, the era that would come to be known as the Golden Age.